已经启动了会议录制。
Hello, and welcome to our AIKO training series. My name is Frank Xu, Senior Technical Service Engineer. Today, I'm going to show you why do certifications matter for PV industry and what certificates do AIKO have. Okay, first, why do certifications matter? PV modules are designed to operate for more than 30 years in outdoor environment. There are huge temperature variation, large amount of solar radiation, rain, snow, hail, dusts, and other chemicals in the air. So, the outside is harsh and the PV modules must be durable. And thus, there are a series of tests and standards to make sure the modules are durable as they claim to be. Also, there are other aspects the customers need to consider, such as quality assurance. How do we ensure our quality in manufacturing? Safety compliance. How to make sure the modules meet the safety regulation to ensure personnel safety. And customer confidence. Do we have our own advantages to make customers choose us? There are mainly three types of certifications. 1. Factory-related certification, also called system certification. They are for the assurance of the qualification of the factory. Only a qualified factory can produce good quality modules. 2. Product certification. A series of tests will be done on each PV module to make sure the quality meets the standard. 3. Environmental certification. To make sure the PV modules comply with certain environmental standards, usually during the whole supply chain, or to make sure the PV modules have proper disposal after they are no longer in service. There are mainly three ISO certificates related to the factory: ISO 9001, ISO 14001, and ISO 45001. Usually, it is a must for the factory to have all these three certificates. ISO means International Standard Organization. ISO 9001 is for quality management. ISO 14001 is for environmental management systems. And ISO 45001 is for occupational health and safety management systems, which is a replacement of OSA's 18001. And there is a certificate, SA 8000, Social Accountability Requirement, which is required more and more by the customers due to the increasing need of the social responsibility a company must take. Here, we show you a sample of the ISO certificates we have. Please note that all AIKO certificates, no matter Zhuhai, Foshan, Yiwu factory, all have these certificates. The product certifications are also very important. There are standard IEC tests, the ISO 61215, which defines the design qualification and type approval, the IEC 61730, which defines the safety of qualification. These certificates are mandatory in European Union, and every module must comply with them. And there are special purpose tests that are widely accepted by the customers, such as LETID, PID, ammonia corrosion resistance, often required by the farms, salt mist resistance, often required by seashore projects, and sand dust resistance, often required by desert projects. The IEC standard tests contains a long test sequence. For simplicity, here I only show part of the tests as below. The electroluminescent test, also simplified for EL tests. A flow of a current will go through the module to make it glow, and a special designed camera will take a photo of the module. All the hidden cracks invisible to naked eye will show on the image. Then, a trained personnel will check the image. Those do not comply to the standard will not be sent to the customers. The health impact tests and the mechanical load tests are also in the test sequence of IEC standard. There are tests that simulate the natural environment. In the health impact tests, hail balls of a certain diameter and speed will hit the surface of the PV module. Then, visual and EL test will take on it to see if there are unconformities according to the standard. In the mechanical load test, there are static load test and dynamic load test. Forces will be put on both the front and the back of the module and test its resistance to the external forces that the modules will encounter in the outdoor environment. And here, I'm going to introduce some special purpose certificates. For example, IEC 61701, a certificate to ensure the performance of salt mist corrosion resistance, usually required by seashore projects. There are 6 levels of tests in the standard. AIKO ABC Modules has passed the strictest level, which simulates decades of exposure in a salty environment with less than 2% decline in power output. Here, you can see the sample of our certificates on the right. And IEC 62716, a certificate to ensure the performance of ammonia resistance, which is usually required by farm projects. Modules that pass these tests means the quality is good enough for projects with rich ammonia environment. And IEC 60068, also known as the Sand Dust Certificate, ensures the modules can perform well in an environment full of sand, for example, deserts. Besides all these certificates most of the customer need, AIKO also have passed more strict tests designed for a more aggressive environment. For example, the 35mm hail test. Normal modules have only passed 25mm hail test. But if there is a heavier hail, the 25mm hail resistance won't be able to provide enough protection, and the modules may get damaged after the hail. While AIKO passed the 35mm hail tests, both monofacial and bifacial modules, the customers can feel safer by using our modules. In IEC standard, there are DH1000 tests. DH means damp heat. This is a long-duration test that simulates the high humidity and high temperature in tropical area. These tests will take 3 months to resemble 10 years of operation in this environment. AIKO has performed the DH3000 tests 3 times longer than the IEC standard, and the test results are much better than the modules using other cell technologies. TC200 test is another long-duration test. TC means temperature cycle. 200 cycles of temperature change will be done on the modules to simulate the temperature changing during operation. AIKO has performed the TC600 test 3 times longer than the IEC standard, and the test results are much better than the modules using other cell technologies. Here, you will notice in the orange column, after the DH3000 and TC600 tests, there are only 3.2% and 0.9% of power drop respectively. As for the other tests, you may see that our test results are much better than PERC modules, which means our customers can enjoy a better quality and use our modules more confidently. Thank you for your attention and wish you have a pleasant experience using our modules. Thank you.